let's take a look at the heroes cast from their earliest days to today. Who would you recognize on the street? First up, we've got Jack Coleman, aka Noah Bennett. Jack is 65 now, but back in 2006, he was 47. Fun fact, Jack originally wanted to be a professional baseball player before he found acting. But here's something cool on set. Jack became the unofficial protector of the cast, especially Hayden Panettiere. He even had a special trick for making her laugh during tense moments, which kept things light when the plot took a dark turn. Jack also once broke the set's lighting rig while attempting a stunt, which turned into an impromptu team-building moment. Today, Jack is still busy, voicing characters in animated series and making guest appearances in shows like The Boys.
Please don't get excited, Matt. We're trying to test your resting.
Next, let's talk about Milo Ventimiglia, better known as Peter Petrelli. Milo's 47 now, but back in 2006, he was 29. Milo's not just a talented actor, he's a huge motorcycle enthusiast and once did a major road trip across the country in a vintage Holly. On set, Milo's dedication to his role was insane. He would show up at 4 a.m. to prep for an emotional scene, only to film straight through the day without breaking character. The most surprising part, he often refused to use a double for his stunts, insisting on doing it himself. And get this, Milo almost had to cut his hair short for the role. But the producers liked his long locks so much, they kept it as a defining feature for Peter.
How many people have you taught before me?
These days, he's rocking a long-running role on This Is Us and also producing behind the scenes. Masi, who played Hiro Nakamura, is up next. Masi's 49 now, but when filming Heroes, he was 32. Did you know that? Masi was actually a visual effects artist before he got into acting. He worked on Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. On the set of Heroes, Masi's love for technology shone through. One time, he personally rewired a prop to make it work better for a scene. And fun fact, during a complex fight sequence, he once convinced the director to change the choreography mid-shot. And it worked better than anyone expected.
These
days, Masi has shifted more toward directing and producing, while still acting in a few roles here and there. Next, we've got Senthil Ramamurthy as Mohinder Suresh. Senthil's 51 now, but back in 2006, he was 32. Here's a fun nugget. Senthil was an elite soccer player in college and almost pursued a professional career in sports. On the Heroes set, Senthil was constantly pushing the limits, especially during his character's intense monologues. He'd rehearse lines over and over until he got them exactly right, even if it meant taking longer than planned. One time, he did a 10-minute take without breaking a sweat. Senthil was also known for sneaking into the background of other actors' scenes just to mess with them.
For years, he'd been working on a mathematical theorem using human genomes and DNA migration patterns.
These days, he's still acting and is involved in producing some really exciting projects. Let's move on to Greg Grunberg, who played Matt Parkman. He's 57 now, but back in 2006, he was 39. Greg's a huge tech geek, and he even created a mobile app for a charity. He's passionate about helping kids with special needs. Here's an interesting one. Greg became so close with the crew on Heroes that he once spent 14 hours in makeup and wardrobe for a scene that didn't even make the final cut. On set, he was also the first to suggest adding an emotional backstory to Matt's character, which led to a whole new depth for him.
Ted, you never listen. You're too damn stubborn. But you're still her teddy bear.
These days, Greg is still starring in TV shows, and he's also a co-founder of a new tech startup. Next up is James Kaisenlia as Onduma Sahachi. James is 48 today, but back in 2006, he was 29. Aside from his acting chops, James is also a big martial arts fan and once broke his own toe while practicing for a scene. He wasn't going to tell anyone until the crew noticed him limping. And get this, James has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. During filming, James once convinced Masi to do a scene that involved them jumping off a building. No worries. It was a stunt double for safety, but the two of them had such a blast filming it that they couldn't stop laughing for hours afterward. These days, James is diving into directing and producing.
I'm the master of time and space. That's good.
Now let's talk about Adrian Pastar, who played Nathan Petrelli. Adrian is 59 now, but back in 2006, he was 42. Fun fact, Adrian is a huge fan of racing and actually owns a couple of classic cars. On set, he was one of the most intense actors. constantly wanting to understand the deepest layers of his character. There was even a time when he insisted on doing an entire scene in one take, no matter how complicated, because he felt that would get the most out of Nathan's emotional arc. And you won't believe this. Adrian once spent an entire night memorizing lines for a single scene, only to have the director change it at the last second. But Adrian nailed it, and the take made it into the show.
You might as well go ahead and shoot now. I'll find you. I will kill you.
These days, he's still acting and making guest appearances on hit shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Next, we have Zachary Quinto, who played Sylar. Zachary is 47 now, but when filming Heroes, he was 30. He's a huge theater geek, and while filming Heroes, he was known for suggesting dramatic pauses and gestures to make Sylar's scenes more chilling. One time, Zachary insisted on filming a confrontation scene in one continuous shot just to make the tension build. On set, Zachary was often seen working with the costume team to make sure his wardrobe matched Sylar's evolving character. It was a subtle change, but it made a huge difference. Now, Zachary is still acting but also producing and directing. He's making big moves behind the camera too.
And how much of it do we actually use? 10%, maybe 20.
Let's talk about Ollie Larder, who played Nikki Sanders. Ollie is 48 now, but back in 2006, she was 30. Before Heroes, Ollie had a bit of a wild streak. She was a model and a dancer, even performing in music videos. On set, she was known for having some of the most challenging scenes, having to switch between different personalities for Nikki and Jessica. During one particularly intense scene, Ollie's hair and makeup got so messed up by the end of the take that they had to reshoot it a few times, but Ollie handled it like a pro, turning a frustrating moment into an unforgettable scene. These days, she's still acting and has ventured into producing her own content.
It's me, Daddy. Jessica. Daughter that you threw your bells at? The daughter that you choked?
Next is Christine Rose, who played Angela Petrelli. Christine is 77 now, but back in 2006, she was 58. Christine is a theater legend, and she once performed on Broadway before she became known for her role on Heroes. On set, she was the rock of the show, constantly guiding the younger actors on how to stay focused. There was one time when she improvised a line that became an iconic moment in the series, and they decided to keep it. Christine also secretly took over for an actor who fell ill, stepping in for a crucial scene with only hours to prepare. These days, Christine still graces stages and TV screens, showing no signs of slowing down.
Yes, you certainly did. And I appreciate it.
Next is Ashley Crowe, who played Sandra Bennett. Ashley is 61 today, but back in 2006, she was 42. Here's something cool. Ashley is a major animal rights advocate, and she was once involved in a charity auction, where she sold some of her heroes' memorabilia for a cause. On set, Ashley had a pretty unique role. She often took on the responsibility of being the one to make sure things stayed on schedule. She even helped rewrite a scene after a director's last-minute request. Ashley's now staying active in acting, appearing in smaller guest spots and focusing on her charitable efforts.
He kept asking about Claire.
Jimmy Jean-Louis, who played the Haitian, is next. Jimmy's 55 now, but back in 2006, he was 39. A lesser-known fact is that Jimmy was born in Haiti, and later became a huge advocate for his homeland, helping with local schools and infrastructure. On the set of Heroes, Jimmy was known for being a bit of a prankster, often surprising the cast with his quick wit and sense of humor between takes. There's a hilarious story where Jimmy fooled the entire crew into thinking he was going to do a dangerous stunt, only to reveal it was all part of an elaborate joke. These days, Jimmy is still active in both Hollywood and Haiti, working on several international film projects. And of course, we can't forget about Hayden Panettiere, who played Claire Bennett. Hayden's 35 now, but she was just 17 back in 2006. When she first joined the Heroes cast, Hayden was known for being one of the most dedicated actors on set, often going above and beyond with her stunts. She once performed an intense fight scene while recovering from a sprained ankle, and no one could even tell. These days, Hayden balances her acting career with motherhood, occasionally making appearances in shows like Nashville.
Something I never talked about because I thought it would upset you, Dad.